Hello, and welcome to our second session of embodying the new Earth frequency now. It's called Creation Doesn't Make Mistakes. Our choice to be here now exactly as we are. That's what we're talking about today. And I first want to share with you an experience I had with my daughter Haddon in the last week or so. That I really think is shows how this all of this embodiment works and how it worked with us in our everyday reality, and how I'm really living in that frequency with her. I've been her bedtime is sort of uh it evolves, it changes. Sleep, if you know anyone with any neurological challenges, sleep can be one of the difficult things. And she honestly sleeps really well, but she has kind of like FOMO when she's going to bed. Like if ever anyone else is up in the house, she's up and awake and waiting, essentially waiting for me to go to sleep. And in the last year or so, um, she's 18, so I don't really put her to bed anymore, but I do also, I'll leave her door open and sometimes even her light on for a while and let her decide when she's ready to go to sleep. And she does tend to like being in there by herself and having her own time and kind of taking like an hour or so, 45 minutes to shut down. And that's been working really well for us. And this last week, 3 or 4 times I have felt called to go in there and called by her, I guess, to go in there and just hang out with her, which I've done before. Um, but I just had a sort of another level of experiencing um, her energy and our energy together, and this whole idea of really living in this frequency and connecting to her. And, this is sort of our norm. She is nonverbal. And so it's normal for me to just lay next to her and just hang out and talk to her or not. But this last uh, couple of times, I could feel her energy and my energy together. And I I just brought myself entirely into the moment with her. And I guess the point I'm trying to make is that I was going, instead of trying to know what she was like saying to me, I just sort of felt that energy. And in that feeling, I actually had a knowing of what she was saying, but it was entirely beyond words. It was like I was connected to her, the knowing within her soul. Like I felt like I was being downloaded with energy, with information, and with how she was. It's just how she was communicating with me at that point. And it was entirely beyond words, but yet I could sort of translate it energetically. And I know that's what's occurring when we channel, is we're translating energy. And I go over that in my course, in terms of how to, communicate nonverbally. I really do think that's what's going on, but it had such a different experience this time. And as I became really present with her and I sort of focused just on the feeling instead of, entirely getting out of my brain and trying to receive words from her, because sometimes when there's a person outside of you, you look at them and you're like, what is she saying? Right. Um, and I just dropped fully into the feeling of the energy and the feeling of sharing that energetic field with her. And then the feeling just entirely turned into this knowing of exactly what was within it, what was within her. It was It was like I knew what she was saying, but it went beyond words. Um, the other thing that was happening this whole time is she's like, could not have been more bright eyed and happy about my presence with her at that level. And to get there, I have to breathe. I have to basically bring myself into a meditative state. I mean, complete and total presence with someone. And that takes a minute. You can't with her. She feels if you're elsewhere, if you're thinking about other things, she's like, I'll catch you later. And she doesn't interact as well. She was focusing her eyes on me. It was like she recognized that I showed up in her frequency and was like, giant smile, her eyes as big as ever. She literally was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Look, we're here. We're like, you're here with me in my frequency, actually, all the way in it. And she couldn't have been happier. And in that I was talking to her somewhat, you know, sharing things. And then I could feel her sharing back about her day or just anything. But overall, I just, I wanted to bring that up because what was really occurring was, in order to come out of my mind, I really focused on what the energy felt like between us and and that was enough in that moment. But then it just expanded into a download that I was like, I know exactly what she's saying and how she feels. I can feel it. And in that, she felt seen and she was looking at me and smiling and interacting as much as she physically could to let me know how much she loved it. And I could feel it too. Um, so, that is sort of my example of what it really means to live with um, these amazing humans in this frequency. And when you get there, sort of the magic that occurs, it's amazing to feel that connection with her on that level and know everything within it that I was getting downloaded. um, so that's, one thing I wanted to share. When I just really sat with this topic that creation doesn't make mistakes, Haddon has said that in other channels, in a sense, not those exact words, but that her, design is divine, that there wasn't a mistake made. And the first time I got that, I think I actually shared it in the podcast episode that's about the physical body, because that's how she was pointing that out to me in that particular channel that I got, and shared. I think I shared it in that episode, that, she was like, I was created by God. Like everything is divine down to every strand of DNA, I think she said in the message. And I was like, oh, okay, it's really, and when I sat with this thought, with this topic, almost immediately I felt it clear, just sitting with it, just sitting with that creation doesn't make mistakes. I could feel it clear of like some residual surface, like stuff that was just remaining, these beliefs that I had about her condition. And I was like, oh, wow, I didn't think I had anything left with that. And so I think it's really beautiful that wherever you are, on your journey, there could be some, even a small amount of residual, whatever comes up when you think something like that. If you're holding anything that is not that level of truth, it'll be right in front of you. It's like, yeah, but she has a condition called this, and don't I want to try to help her fix that? And those kind of things, right? You know what I'm saying? And what I found myself asking or sort of stepping back to observe is like, where does that stop when we are looking at someone else and wondering how we can help them or fix them? Where does that actually stop? Um, because they are just part of our reality, right? And anytime we think, when we think of any way that we should be or someone else should be, it doesn't actually stop with them. It's really about us. That's what I was sort of observing in my own situation, is that, any kind of questioning I had about Haddon and her condition always sort of led me back to me, where I was like, well, what did I do wrong? Um, where was the mistake made, right? Um, and I definitely have had a lot of levels of this that I've gone through. I remember when I first had her, I had been working in scientific labs, and I thought, oh gosh, I was working with DNA actually. I was working in molecular biology and cloning things, and I remember thinking I must have, contaminated something. I should, played with a chemical I shouldn't have played with, and now look at my baby. I mean, the things that we think, just I hung on to a lot of that stuff for years, and I would go down that rabbit hole of, thinking like, what did I do? What went wrong and where, and what's in the water? Because something's wrong here, right? And that was my experience. But it doesn't ever really stop with that other person. It comes right back to you, is my point. And so these shifts that they're leading us into, that Haddon is leading us into, and all of these highly advanced souls, it it actually is not just to their benefit. It's really about us. And what comes to me with this topic is that really we're just reminding you of, if creation doesn't make mistakes and we chose to be here exactly as we are, we're really, what we're doing is just reminding you of that choice. There is this knowing that lives within you, and you wouldn't be here otherwise. You probably would have turned this off by now or left the meeting. um, and as you feel into that and sort of let it take up space within your body, I chose this existence. My child chose their existence. I feel a resonance there, and not resistance, just resonance. And with that resistance, in my experience, was all of the trying to make sense of everything, all of this happening to me, and so many years of that. That I call it the why God dilemma. And we all probably have a version of it. And so I just, that's sort of what came to me as Haddon gave me this topic, is that this is a knowing that we all have within us already, and it resonates as truth. And I have that experience with a lot of higher truths that come in. I'm like, oh yeah, that feels good. That creation doesn't make mistakes. Like, why would it? And that we chose to be here now exactly as we are. So I want to tell you my why God story. And it is the license plate story. You may have heard it on the podcast pretty early on if you've been listening or watching. We were in the NICU with Haddon for 9.5 weeks, and had to drive home every night and come back in the morning. And one of the first nights we're driving home and her dad is driving, And I had a major why God moment. I was like, I don't get it. I just said out loud to him, like, I don't understand what is happening right now. This doesn't make sense. There's just all this stuff wrong. You know, our baby's in the hospital. They're trying to figure out what's wrong with her. Like, what is happening? I don't understand why, God. And I literally just said that in the car. And I look in front of us, and the car in front of us had a license plate, with the license plate had an H, A, V, the number 2, the letter B, a plus sign, and so it was have to be positive. And I was like, okay, that doesn't really answer the why for me, but it felt like a very clear it was the answer. I was like, okay, have to be positive. And I took it to heart, and I really have lived that way through all of this as much as possible. Um, and, you know, when you ask that question, you will get an answer, and it's usually not something you did wrong, right? The universe is not going to give you, oh yeah, you definitely contaminated your pregnancy with your DNA mutating enzymes or whatever. Ridiculous, right? Absolutely ridiculous. So that I love that license plate. I think about it all the time, and it just the perfect moment. So our existence is a choice, and when we see it that way, when we can feel into as our soul that we chose to be here, I feel that very strongly. And I've gotten it from Haddon in channel many times, that we chose to do this way together, this life, this way, right now, this time. And it just feels very, very true to me. And the beautiful thing about that, our existence being a choice, it removes the why God dilemma. And my point here is that in the new earth, things actually happen for us and not to us. And that is such a beautiful shift to make, because when you make these shifts within yourself, your outer reality just looks different. It feels different. You receive more of that from proof from the universe and from your child, often, you know, in their ways of being and behaving, and that they are amazing, and there's nothing wrong, and they are designed just like they are for a reason, and a purpose that is bigger than you probably ever imagined. um, and in that, I think about their contribution, the way that they're designed, and what that is contributing to consciousness, to the planet, to humanity at this time. And I was like washing dishes the other day. It was just a couple days ago. And I had this drop in, and I think it was from Haddon. It's like, life is a journey through levels of consciousness. I was like, that's what this is. That is what life is. And what better way? The other thing that dropped in was like, or that I thought from that was, what better way for us to journey through than being connected to a highly conscious child who's leading the way? Like that, I was like, of course, this makes so much sense. Like, there's, wow, like she came in a very specific way, designed a very specific way for a very specific journey. But the journey isn't what you think. It's not a physical journey through difficult shit, you know? It is through the levels of consciousness. And I can see now where we've been. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now with her, because this is really where we intended to get to, and to sort of create that path for others. And but that's just what came in, was like, okay, yeah, there were no mistakes made. Creation itself does not make mistakes by nature. And in that, they're able to contribute on levels just by being here, um, on these huge levels to consciousness. And we're actually along on that ride with them. And it's been so powerful with Haddon. Where you get to start and where you get to are just, it's incredible. And I was like, wow, yeah, that makes sense. So I hope that it makes sense to you, that in the new earth, children are actually the ones that are leading us, because they're still connected to source energy. They haven't been taught other ways of being. They're highly authentic. So this all applies to typical children too. Haddon is just my example. And yeah, that I just think that that's important to note, that not only, yeah, creation doesn't make mistakes, but that's related to choosing to be here. Why? Because it's about consciousness. It's about that journey through levels of consciousness. That is their contribution, and that's the ride, the joy ride that we're on with them, and that they're actually leading us through. So cool to think of it that way, and to know your life as that. And, you know, it's like in one dimension, like if we're talking about dimensions of consciousness, like last session, kids like Haddon are seen as less capable, lacking, having, diseases, medical conditions, needing help. And in another higher dimension of consciousness, what came to me was like, only highly conscious souls would actually take on this level of existence, where essentially you're entirely physically limited. And to me, that really is a highly advanced choice coming from a highly advanced conscious being that was like, we're doing this way, and the effect of it is going to be stronger because of how I'm designed. And yeah, so that's everything that really came in for me about this topic. And yeah, so let's channel Haddon. Let's get her take and her expansion on all of this. Okay. So just sit back and relax, and I'll tune into Haddon, and we'll see what she has to say. Yes, I am here. I am so happy to be here with you, with all of you, with the energy that is you, the energy that is me, all of us in this sacred space that we call the heart space. Your energy is that of creation, of God itself, of Source, the energy of Creator. This is what you are. And this is all perfect. There is a perfection within you. And this perfection is known throughout the entire universe. You can feel this part of you within your entire body now. This is the real you, the divinely perfect you. You are an energetic being, a divinely perfect soul who came here with a purpose. And it's all perfect. You are part of a divine plan. We all are. We are here today to help you shift fully into the idea of this perfection, the knowing of this perfection. The knowing that you, as creator energy, would never make a mistake. There are no mistakes. There are no mistakes. There is nothing to be fixed. You came here to experience yourself, your divine self, in a human experience, a human journey. We remind you, as we've said before, to embrace the perfect imperfections, to love the perfect imperfections. They are divine. This is a human journey. Perfectly designed to lead you through levels of consciousness, through levels of who and what you really are, and to continually expand in awareness, in experience, in your own expression of this truth. And you have choice. However long you want to hang out in whatever place, in whatever belief that you have. It's perfect. There's no wrong place to be. There is no wrong level of understanding. This is a journey, a beautiful, perfect journey. Remember, the journey is through levels of consciousness. That is our journey. That is our contribution. We are contributing to consciousness as a whole. We are designed perfectly to connect on these higher levels easily and effortlessly and invite those in our reality to do the same. That is where the magic lies. That is New Earth. There's nothing to fix, nothing to change. The shift occurs in what you focus your energy upon. What are you focused on? Because what you focus on as a divine being of creation, a creator yourself, your energy focused on anything has the power to expand that in your reality. So that is the shift we welcome you into. Once you start focusing on the miracle of the human body, the miracle of the human experience, the miracle that you are, that we all are. Being here is an absolute divine miracle of existence. And our bodies support us, the real, true us, to be here. And it's important to let go of understanding with the mind. The complexities of the body. It is more important to focus and know the miracle at hand. Know in your heart, not in your mind. Know in your being. Know from your soul the miracle that you are, that existence is. And as your mind then aligns to that knowing, you will be shown more and more magic, miracles, and divine perfection in others and in your reality, because it all is divinely perfect. When you see from this frequency, when you live from this frequency, You will be shown the miracle of your existence. So if you're asking, okay, I want to help my child, my loved one, those I'm serving. How do I help? How do I serve? You shift from fixing and seeing what is needed to fix or help or change into supporting what is already divinely perfect. And the most supportive thing you can do and be is love. None of us need anything. We are powerful divine beings of light and love, transmitting these frequencies for you and with you at all times. They are here to be tuned into, to be connected to be in oneness in all that you are, in all that we all are. And we journey together, and it is so much more fun in these levels, in this frequency and this truth. As you let go of all that you've been taught, all that you've learned, and turn inward into the knowing that is within you. You are divine intelligence in physical form. How could that ever make a mistake? We are all on this journey through levels of consciousness, this beautiful, perfect journey. And you can choose now to focus your energy on what is right as you see it, although there is no right or wrong. But as you focus on everything that is going right, it will expand very quickly. You will see complexities beyond your understanding, and then you can let go of the understanding in the mind and just know the perfection that you are. Feel it. It is here right now for you to feel and for you to embody. and for you to become and live within. And from this level of consciousness, you see your reality and all within it as perfect. And you will be shown more and more of that. What you focus on expands. And how you define it. So define from that knowing deep within you, the knowing that aligns to the truth of you, the knowing that we are all divinely designed, perfectly as we are, for a purpose. So grand, so beyond comprehension with the mind. We invite you to experience it as you came here to do. Experience yourself as a conscious being of light and love. And watch your reality transform in front of your eyes. Watch it have meaning that you never knew before. Watch it have depth and feel that depth of experience within you. Watch as you experience the divine in form, heaven on earth, being reflected back to you as everything and every one in your reality. This is your opportunity to choose as you already did choose to be here. Choose aligned with the knowing inside of you to see the divine perfection that you are, to see it all around you. You are here for a purpose. We all are. And in that, you are supported by the divine. You are guided by the divine. You are loved by the divine. And it is all you. And so it is. because you are. All right, thank you. I will see you in one more week, actually. We're doing May 28th, I believe, Thursday. We had to fit another one in. Thanks for your patience. We did get a van. I forgot to tell you guys. If you don't follow us on social media, we did get a van. So thanks for your patience, and we'll go ahead and do one more session in 1 week, and then we'll get back on the 2 weeks. We'll see how that goes. So we'll see you Thursday, the 28th, hopefully. And these are 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And yeah, thanks for being here. And thanks for watching the replay. Your energy is here with us. So awesome. Sending all of you so much love.